Hello guys, this is the day. I'm so excited. Today is the day I present to you all the changes in the new 7 Wonders, and I mean all of them. So, without further ado, let's start. First we'll cover the graphics. As you can see, there is a new cover. I don't want to spend too much time on that because we have a lot of changes for the gameplay. So, this is the new cover. I think it's better. This is the new graphic design for some of the Wonder stages, and I think it looks amazing. And it's in this version, and also the boards are bigger. There is also new design for the cards. Here I am not so convinced. I think it's better. It's just not that much better. We lose a little with the chains, but we gain a lot of space on the table because you can now lay cards in a better way. So overall, a change for the better. New graphic design card backs. I think they look amazing. So that's good. I don't know how much they will wear, but I think in the if you have protective sleeves, they should be fine. We also have something that's maybe not so important for a lot of you guys, but I in all the groups that I've played, really played, there was at least one colorblind guy, and I think it's wonderful that our hobby is always cautious and cares for these people, because they are everywhere. You might not even know that your friend has problems with differentiating just the two colors. With a game like 7 Wonders, it's pretty important. I approve this change also. Now we go into the gameplay, and first let's talk about the things that didn't change. So, Repos A and B is still the same. Does it mean that the gameplay will be the same? Probably not, because a lot of other things have changed, and in the draft it's always self-correcting, so you might play Colossus differently than you used to before. Although Colossus is a stage that's kind of set in stone. But I think there will be some changes to the high-level gameplay of Colossus. Then Giza B is the same, which again might mean that the position in the tier lists and what you do as Giza B changes. But all the other sites have changed. So let's go through them one by one. First we have the biggest one out of the gate, Olympia A, which I think in high level is considered really good. Now just got amazing. The new ability means that you build the first one, after this symbol comes into play, the first time you will build a card of any color, it's free. I think it's super good. It would be super fun to play. I can't wait to play it, basically. And I think it would be one of the best wonders right now, and I think it will be better than the B side. This will be picked more often. It's a huge buff. You lose something because you suddenly do not the stage. The stages that do not you used to start with stone, and the first stage was 2 stone, which was pretty easy. Right now you kind of lose this. Your stages, the third stage, cares for your starting resource, but I still think it's super fine. Amazing resource. Can't wait if people try to rush it H1, or maybe they do it at the beginning of the H2, or maybe at the end of H2, or just all 3 options are available and you can do whatever depending on what happens. Then we go into Olympia B, which I think was possibly the most overrated wonder. Sometimes it scores very well, but sometimes it fizzles completely. Right now it's kinda more similar to stage to its day counterpart. I need to to get used to saying day instead of A and B, but I'm pretty sure I will stick to A and B for the foreseeable future. Don't be so angry in the comments about that. So Olympia here, as you can see, the resources are slightly different. Here on the stage A, you have no ore. Here you start with 2 ore, and here the stages say, the first one says that each era the first card is free, and the second one is each era the last card is free. The first one, pretty powerful for the first stage. I would say very, very powerful. The second one, although looks very weak. The last card is usually a wonder. Sometimes it's good, but I don't think it will save you many gold. But perhaps I'm wrong. Overall, playable, but I think side A just shines brighter. Maybe it's because it's the day side. Then we go into Giza A. As I said before, Giza B hasn't changed. Giza A is my pick for 4-player, for example. Used to be my pick. Right now, I think they made it a little better for everyone, but at the same time, they made her worse in some specific situations. Again, we lose the natural wonder stage, like the easy wonder stage for the first round, because it's no longer double stone. We gain kinda a lot with the second one. Also, cloth is probably the best thing that you want to see on the wonder stage like this. But we need 3 resources instead of 3 different ones instead of 2. Overall, I think it's a small buff. Just a little sad to see the easy stages go, but I think they stick to it through all the wonders. There is no wonder now that can build a wonder stage with just 1 additional resource. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it's better than B, to be honest. And it's also much easier to play just as a 2 wonder stage. Just forget about the third one if you cannot get those double stones. And I think it's pretty powerful at that. Then we get into Babylon A. Babylon A was my recent discovery that in 4-player Babylon A is actually kinda good and maybe even better than B. I think it is better than B, to be honest. Here we changed the resource, like the Babylon and the Olympia swapped resources, and again we lose the easy first stage. Again we have the cloth, which is the best one that you want, just because of the Haven cost. The Haven meaning the card from the third era that scores for the brown resources. It has a cloth in the cost, so that's why it's really good. The last stage is as hard as it was, but again, it's probably easier to play for the first 2 stages with this one. Slight buff, I would say. Pretty the same treatment as Giza, to be honest. I think they just went through templating with those 2, and I think the changes are reasonable. Then we get into Babylon B. Babylon B got after Olympia, this is the biggest change. So here we got a 2-stage wonder. Now the stage that everyone thinks when they start playing 7 wonders that this is super amazing, and then they realize that on the last hand you usually get pretty bad picks. But here we got it on the first stage. What does it mean? Dramatic pause for water. It means that this wonder is amazing, I think. Just building this first stage, if you just throw, this is 9 gold, 9 additional gold. And it can be much more. You are kinda forced to do at least some things in green, but you can just, splash. You can just do 3 different resources, or you can do a color with 4 and this adds us 5. The possibilities are endless. I think this is one of the strongest wonders as well. It used to be one of the weakest considered weakest for a lot of players. So I think that's good for the general population of players. And let's not forget that 7 Wonders is a family game mainly. On this channel we cover it competitively. But for the hardcore players, I think it's too overtuned. I would like to see the third stage, maybe the second stage, maybe a little higher costed. Especially that, like I would basically swap them between this side. Here I would have 3 wood and bottle, and here I would have 4. But they don't do that when you are not starting with wood, with clay. I mean, they never do like a 4 cost if you are not starting with that resource. So that's probably, but you can do 4 wood here or something. Overall, very good. The change is kind of scary a little, maybe. But I trust, like, the Repos team has put one of the most balanced games in the base game. Here they have like time to do this. I think I trust them that this is fine. Here we go with Halicarnassus A, and we start the changes to the gray wonders, as I like to call them. Halicarnassus A was one of the least played wonders, totally. Like, I've played close to 4,000 games at this point of 7 wonders, and I've seen it a couple times only. So it was pretty bad. Right now it's better. Definitely the costs, the third age costs helps, but I still think it's overshadowed by the B-side. I think this buff is not enough, or let's talk about the B-side. I think like they haven't done enough to make this B-side worse, because Halicarnassus is one of the highest scoring wonders in all player counts, in 3, 4, and even 7 player, and in some of those player counts by a lot. It doesn't mean that you will always win with Halicarnassus, and it doesn't mean that you cannot beat Halicarnassus. It's just, you know, generally it's a little better, and I was hoping that they will tune it a little bit. My idea has always been to push the 2 points to last stage, or just, you know, get rid of at least one of the points. Here they decided to do something different. They pushed it into one direction. Usually Halicarnassus can do 2 things. It can place the brown resource game. It starts with cloth, so it helps with that. Or it can do full green. That's what you usually see on the ladder, or if you like have a friend who played a while, and he'll try that. They pushed it more into the green direction. Right now it's just a green wonder, I would say, just because the second stage needs all the things. You can still play that as brown, but it's probably a little weaker. Is it better? It feels slightly better when you are going pure green, but at the same time, when your opponents know that you will go pure green, they can do more to counter you. So I think we'll be fine. Halicarnassus will just still be strong. Maybe a little stronger, maybe a little hard to say, but I think it's mainly still the same wonder that it was before. Then we go into Ephesus. Ephesus A always has the problem that when you look at the A side for the old A side, it has 10 points and 9 gold, and when you look at the B side, it has 10 points and 12 gold. And the double papyrus that you cannot use for anything else than building this wonder didn't help. So basically, this was never played. I think I've seen it like twice in my life, because it just doesn't make sense to play the A side. Unless you are using custom wonders and you are next to someone who also has a starting papyrus, then maybe, but not really. Now they still haven't fixed like the 3 golds missing, but they made it that it has different resources. And because Ephesus is a stage that relies so much on the trading, maybe you actually play A now. When you are next to someone that will produce a lot of clay, because, you know, clay versus wood here, and the A side has a battle. So maybe if you are sitting next to someone who has battle and like new Olympia, so we are between Alexandria and Olympia, maybe you pick A because your resources are just in sync with their resources. I think it is a viable choice. We will have to see and play and have to see basically what it changes, but I think it's much better than it was before. It could have been still better. They could have just, pushed to like 11 gold, for example. But it's fine, like it is now. The B doesn't change much, to be honest. You swap one battle for 2 golds, which makes it a little weaker. It was a strong wonder, so it's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. Like this change is so small here that I think a lot of people won't even notice. Then the last one that we need to cover is Alexandria. The first side got a small change, but it's actually a pretty big buff. Right now you need 2 other stages instead of 2 battles. I think it's huge. It actually makes it really good because you do not need to spend time doing useless battle. I think the second stage has always been strong. The 10 points for a wonder, it's always strong, as with all the A sides. So I think this will be the side that you will see more often than the B side. The B side, I'm the only probably person in the world that plays a lot of 7 wonders and don't really like Alexandria. A lot of people say it's very flexible, and I agree, but at the same time, you cannot do a lot with it because you are just stuck building a lot of resources in H2, probably, like with your wonder stages. A lot of the times you will get screwed for points. Here it got much weaker. The second stage is much harder now. You need double to make it free. So you probably are looking at some trading post or something like that. And the third stage, oh my gosh, you probably need double wood in the second round. And that's a hard ask. I would probably not pick B a lot. And I think it's... for the green strategy, I think the A side is much stronger. For non-green, this one can be potentially better if you know that your opponent will leave you the double resources in the H2, but I think it's a hard ask in a competitive environment. I think this side just got nerfed hard, but that's good. We'll change from B to A. There's something new for us to play, and like no questions asked, you can still win with the B side a lot of the time. Then one observation that I want to make, in the old version there were 3 or maybe 4 wonders that care about stone early. It was mainly Ephesus, Rhodos and Giza, and to a lesser extent Olympia A. Right now I'm predicting that with how people will will choose the site whenever they can choose the site, I think Alexandria A will be played. That cares about stone on the first round, and it really cares about stone. Babylon also really cares about stone. It wants to build it early, and also Olympia A also really care about stone. So that's 6 resources. The only one that doesn't care about stone is Halicarnassus now. Because, Rhodos B hasn't changed, Giza hasn't changed much. No, I guess Giza doesn't care that much about stone anymore, but it cares on the B side. And Ephesus B still cares about stone. That means that all the other wonders, like all the other sides that I showed you that, the A side doesn't care about stone, maybe it's actually relevant, maybe there is a metagame with stone. I think they tried to push it so the stone is the resource for the wonder, which I think makes flavorful sense. And also stone was the weakest resource by far, because it's not very much used in ages 1 and 2, where you kind of set your strategy up. Because of that, I think it will be very interesting, and there is not many significant changes, but there's a lot of small changes, and as I've like discovered in my own designs when I play tested other games or when I'm just playing card games or stuff like that. Small changes can impact metagame in a huge way, so I'm not arrogant enough to try to predict what this will be, but I know that situation will change for sure. Then let's go to the new cards. We have Ludus. This one is a yellow card for the third age that cares about red cards. This goes you need 5 players to have this card in a game. The other one comes when there is 7 players. This makes red a strategy for those player counts, because if you have like 5 red cards to win both fights, which is reasonable, you will get 10 points from this card, which is crazy. For 5 players, I think red is one of the strategies. It might even be better than green in some cases, but we will have to see about that. Suddenly, like, all the red cards that you pick up are really worth it. Like, if you pick 5 cards in rounds 1 and 2 and you play this card, which is really cheap, you are very, very happy. Then we have a new guild. This card can come at any player count. The more the players, the higher the possibility that it will come into the game. It basically is a guild that gives you 7 points if you finished your wonder at the end of the game, which is very easy to do in a lot of cases. Like, usually a lot of strategies rely on building the wonder all the way. I think it points new player in the right direction, because building the wonder all the way is the basic strategy to follow, and it replaces Strategies Guild, and I'm very happy about that, because Strategies Guild was obnoxious in some 4-player games, and sometimes it even comes down to who got the Strategies Guild between places 1 and 2. Not a lot of the time, but sometimes. I think it makes red a little weaker, and it was like kind of unfair maybe to other strategies. I'm just happy that the change happened. I think it's for the better, and I'm very happy that the guild got some attention as well. Here we have Castrum. This is a new red card, and it comes as early as 4-player count. 4-player, in my opinion, the best way to play the 7 Wonders, so pretty excited about that. I'm very excited that it has Papyrus in the cost, because I think Papyrus was a little underwhelming compared to Cloth and Battle, and now it might rise again. The cost is very clay heavy compared to, like, we have already a card that has 3 clay and 1 wood, so this is kind of in line with that. What I can say that there is no double. It used to be 5 cards in red in the third era for 4 players. Right now it's 5, but it's 5 different. It used to be 2 of the cloth ones. I will show you in a second. Overall, pretty nice change. I think they realized that in higher player counts, a lot of the time you get a red that you cannot play because you already have it, because of the rule that you can only play 1 card with 1 name. So, yep, pretty good change, I would say. Very excited about that. It means more to players who play like 6 and 7 players, and I'm very happy for them. Then we have something maybe huge. Blue cards buffs. Basically, they kind of redone how the blue is set up. What stayed is the buffs and aqueduct, like the line 2 that you see on the screen. It's the same that it has been before, and like nothing changed with that. The altar used to be 2 points, and now it's 3, so plus 1 point, and it has a much better chain. The theater used to point to the statue, and it used to be 2 point, so that's also a better chain, I would say. The well is the new card. It used to be a pawn shop that has no chain, so it got chained to 4 players, so it's better again. But just because of the chain. It has been 3 points before. And it also, like the temple, the thing that Altar used to point out, sorry I missed it on the screen here, it got +1 point, but it has no chain to Pantheon now. But still +1 point is pretty nice. I would say it's comparable to how it was before. So overall, blue got a buff, and I'm very, very happy about that, because like the 2-point blues used to be pretty bad. You used to, I think more often than not, if you got it on last hand and you have 2 gold or less, you would throw instead of building card. And I think building card is more exciting. Maybe the new altar is so good that it's actually picked before something else, like a duel. Probably not, but maybe in some scenarios. Maybe blue is a strategy now. Maybe you can actually rush blue and do a lot of stuff in blue. We will have to see how it plays out. But I'm very excited about those changes. Then we have cost changes. So Spice Guild got 1 cheaper. It used to be 3, now it's 2. You can see like the change on the left side of the card. Very happy about that. Small change, but 3 was a little too high, I think. If they changed to like a wood or something, I would also be happy, but this is really good. Punishes red a little, which is always nice, because red was still a pretty dominant strategy in 3 and 4. Builders, it got higher cost, which is also very grateful. Builders is less obnoxious now because there is no Olympia to copy it now. But it still was like one of the highest scoring point cards, and it was cheaper than Pantheon or Palace. So now the cost is much more reasonable. It also pushes a little stone down the road, so very happy to see that. Fortifications, this is one of the changes that I do not understand why it was made, but it's okay. It's just a swap. Usually if you are building stuff like that, you will have the cost anyway, or you are building it for free from the walls, so not a significant change by any means. Then I want to go, I know this video is already long, but I want to go with I want to cover all the changes. So how the card pool for each player count changes. Here, this is just the stuff that I covered. There is nothing like new here, no changes. There is still, like, as you can see, the temple is just new, altar and theater are new, and the decorators guild are new, and there are cost changes also. But as far as card changes, these are just the changes. Then we go into 4-player card pool changes. Arsenal was replaced by the Castrum, and I've already talked about it. So now we have 5 unique red cards in the last era. Also, this replaces Pawn Shop, so technically it's a change, but you won't feel it as much as you play it. 5-player is the first one that kinda got some changes. Circus is replaced with Arsenal. That doesn't really mean much. This is just because that's like it's cause of the change with Castrum, basically. So they are like slower introducing. Arsenal used to be introduced at 4, now it's introduced at 5. But Town Hall is replaced with Ludus. That's a big change. I've already talked about Ludus before. It makes red pretty interesting strategy for 5 players, and I think it makes 5 much different than a 4-player count, which is also pretty exciting because, you know, we like to play different things. Then we go into 6-player card pool changes. So theater is like it's still a theater. I didn't know how to present this change, to be honest, because it used to be theater, but theater is kind of different now. Like theater is not theater because it doesn't change to statue. And temple is also different, you know, still as it was before. Yeah, because we get another temple, but temple is not the same temple, but it's still like the temple, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have chains anymore. Then we go into 7-player card pool changes, and Arsenal is now again Ludus, which makes again 7-player. Probably some players will be strictly in red. I do expect that. And there is no, like, another change that helps Ludus is that there is maximum of 2 of the copies of the same red card. It used to be free for both Arsenal and Circus, I think. So now it's not. We lose 1 arena, which is pretty sad, but overall we go into more red direction, as you can see. We lose Arsenal, but for a red card, like for a card that cares about red, and we lose Arena card that doesn't care about red at all for the Castrum. So we have still the same number of red card, but we just have another card that cares about red in the pool, actually 2 of them. And that would be it. That would be all the changes that I could find. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes, but I failed. So just quick thank you to Nicolas Pastor from Repos, who was very helpful with me getting the instruction for the new stuff. Oskari from Finland, from the Discord channel, who helped me with the pictures. Also Zee Garcia from the dicetower, who I contacted, and also was very helpful with explaining the changes when he posted his video on the dicetower channel. Thanks guys, thanks for your help, and I'm very grateful for that. I will cover the changes for the expansions. We have 3 new additions of expansions in another video, because this will be way too long and maybe some people are not interested in some of the expansions. So there will be a short video for each of the expansion. I think the changes are pretty minimal, like here, but can impact the metagame. Overall, this is still the same game that we love. This is just small improvements. Almost all of them are improvements. If some are questionable, we have to wait and see. Maybe they're actually improvements, even if we think they are not. Very happy. Can't wait to play it. See you guys on Board Game Arena in the new version, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. Please let me know how you like this video, like and subscribe if you haven't, and see you later. Bye.